Hi, this is just a quick warning to start with because I noticed by looking at the second part of the video that I start with really, really weird stuff that don't seem to belong with anarchy, and that might look like someone doing a psychosis. Well, fascists are gonna jump on that opportunity to shut me up or schizophrenia or something. But it's not. I see a psychiatrist, and she won't. She doesn't want to say I'm schizophrenic because I hear these voices, but they're actually narcissistic psychic domination occupying my mind. Uh, just real fast. It's like I'm their host and they're living in my mind space and body. And this is, I don't know on which foot to get you ready with this really weird stuff that I feel inside of me and that make people react a certain way or act a certain way. And I noticed that this mind control of mass, like even in a crowd, you can decide when they're gonna yell. But when you feel this, you just rub on it and they'll react, you know. And so there's this love button, and there's a way to affect people from a distance, and an area where people interact in the same mind space. That is the foundation of fascism that took over the world secretly that way. And that a lot of punks, lawyers, people that deal with crime and organized crime might know the bird language, the two language, the numbers mean something, and the blah, and the words, and the double meaning, and the context. That's playing a mantra in a magical psychic role and has mental effects because they have a meaning, that's an effect, but they have other effects. And then the video, I start talking about energy and these tubes in my back that I feel love in, and these tentacle things that are all tangled up, and that my head starts moving on music because I get kissed roses all the time because I'm a resistant one. I'm some sort of Che Guevara, so the Versace people kiss the fuck out of me and screw me up all the time. And I get messed up in my habits, kind of thing. Uh, I could probably, I have videos that talk a bit more about that. So I might look like I'm a psycho or something, talking about trolls when I'm supposed to talk about anarchy. But I kind of explain the reason why, and it's because I'm used to cleaning myself, chakra dancing, and like I'm rubbing music on the energy I feel. That fascist tentacles crawl inside me and give me bad reflexes, make me react, or whatever. I look at something, it triggers smoking in me every time I look. So every time you focus on something, you feel like having a smoke because it stresses you and touches your knee. That's one kind of fuck up. Most of those fuck ups keep you in a consuming mode and a needing mode. Now you have fire around you and you need, I'm pressing your need and playing with you. So need one. So by using those, the fire, the stress, and the sex chakra, they manage to look more powerful and overpower people, good people, and we're after good people. So that when I speak of the good night on Harley Quinn's bat, I see bird language. You're allowed to use a second meaning. It would be a good night of chivalry kind of thing, and that the word doesn't have the same effect. And by writing good night, buenas noches, they negated the effect of the good night, fighter night. And what's the night got to do with anarchy and all that? Well, it's this mind game. Those words affect the energy inside of you. Most people don't feel it. I get moving and I can, there's resistance and they crunch and they crack in my head and then there's tunnels with crumbs and that, with love that I stumble upon and it's this kind of manner thing with occupants, if I can allow myself to explain. And it's being their father. That's why they would call the fascists the evil kids or girls. So that was to get to talk about this underground mental manipulation that holds a fascist order with intimidation and mind control and hierarchy. When in anarchy, the pyramid is upside down. And it's the same principle that would rule in anarchy, but it doesn't rule, it kind of just uh, balances out chaos and order, kind of like good and evil and positive, negative in physics. They all have to balance out love and hate. So anyways, those powers are now functional on the left wing, and good people breathe. And this manipulative manipulation of perception and needs and interests and knowledge and attention, the alpha zone brain mode where you can affect people's minds and telepathically communicate even. So that's what anarchy has to use. So I'll explain with these really weird wizard things how anarchy works. Because there's masters of puppets that would maintain a capitalist game and illusion cage kind of thing in our minds. And everything is thought. So that's the reality we create for ourselves and are maintained in kind of thing. Bear with me. It's really far away, but there is a logic to this. And you probably will start feeling and noticing these things after listening to the video because of the way I effectively use that of words and what they mean for me in my head. You might start noticing numbers a certain way or word games or notice that your eyes bounce on letters in the wrong order, but it says something else because they follow the sequence every time you look at it. And like little things that go, or this person always calls when, and weird stuff like that, and stuff that repeat in an attitude or a position in crowd. Do you end up first, second, third, last? The people, how the people act with you. Everybody's on a program. TV divas, music programs people, frequencies, and they model they transfer knowledge, they model perception, beliefs, they manufacture consent in a capitalist state, like Noam Chomsky does, and they all do that with mass media. But I'm going to talk about the inner effects I feel of what that does. And then you might be moved and feel stuff too in this video that you're going to think are really weird. Usually when people listen to me, they change their Facebook profile picture the next day and put a black sweater on and look happy and awake all of a sudden, expressing something, putting ego and looks aside and communicating. That's the base of anarchy. So have fun and don't get scared of weird stuff that you don't quite get the link and incoherent stuff because it does end up having a logic And if you never hear about it, you'll never notice it. So give me a chance. Hey, hi everyone. I got my steampunk gear out because this is going to be about anarchism. Oh, and just to remind you, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and share, please. You can also go see a lot of other videos. I did quite a few about narcissism, energy, oneness, channeling, anarchy, fascism, Jesus, God, Satan, religion, universal theory, and all that. Uh, so I'll take this off. So today I was to talk about anarchism because yesterday I did a video about anarchism versus fascism, and I concluded by saying that they were the opposite because the only thing that changes in anarchy is what's written on Harvey Quinn's dad. Because in fascism, the bat bats the good night. Well, it says good night as buenas noche, but the bird language allows you to use the second meaning when you hear a word that sounds alike. So what they're doing actually is taking the mantra magic power of good night, which would summon a night that would push down and love and destroy rats or whatever dwellers are inside of you, or bad roses, and you send them down tubes or on the worms, and the good night attacks. You say good night, and it'll dig a way down and fix you up when you feel the energy at least. It's like infantry, tank, golem, trolls. Trolls will do damage though. And then you go fairies, fate, Valkyrie, warriors, regiment. Those are all things that are gonna clean the tubes down, the U tubes. Because I have tubes of it's like nylon socks, and sometimes it's over my head, keeping me from kissing with my eyes or contacting and getting into contact with things. It's all inside the mind, and that's what this weird monologue is going to be about. Is a lot about mind space, mind control, and the inner self and the collective soul. Because I think that I figured out how anarchy works. Because I always kept on imagining what a system with no laws would be. It would be disastrous. If you don't have all those fraud protections, there's so many assholes out there that just try to swindle every day and everyone. You need those laws to protect you. The only thing, the difference in anarchy is the laws would affect only evil people, and it would protect good and innocent people from getting swindled or frauded or something, or cheated into, stolen, and keeps people from beating people for no reason or killing for no reason. Because fascists are on a permanent quest of killing the good knight and the good people, destroying good influence. And whoever has a good name is on a death list. Frank, Justin, my name is Justin. I've been on the list just because it says just. When you say just, that's when you get the lucidity and you get me. They called me just all my life. So I've been woken up every time they say just. And I'd appear right where you have to be just and right there. So I was always maintained to this kind of justice mode. And it plus my name says it, so it kind of got into me and influenced my behavior never exist. It would be mayhem. It would be Mad Max. It would be clans and motorbikes and whatever, and power to the guns. Whoever, and then what? Who would have the gun? Whoever has money. And who has money? Well, it's evil most of the time. That has all the money, the 1%. So you have people selling themselves out, selling their souls, stepping on their convictions and their morality just to survive and get money. And to get that, they'd have to lick rich people's ass that have guns. They'd have to obey. And plus, those people want the most money to profit the most. So they would probably enslave people too, to restart slave trade and fucked up stuff like that in the sex market and kidnap kids and there's a lot of awful things evil wants to do. It just and its laws are keeping them from doing it so easily. I'd be dead a long time ago if there were been laws protecting life, because I was the best. The dealer, the gangsters, and the head rush, they called me my best. I don't know, it's because they noticed that I was one. Well, whenever they say one, it's either me or sometimes I'm passing with the person in front of me. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But as soon as they leave, I get one again. I don't know if there's more than one, if one appears in every group or something. Maybe it does, but maybe it's me that appears in all those groups and that I control mentally because of the way with this mold they kind of fit in. You kind of fit over them and they act like you, they speak like you, they think of stuff you think about and speak about them. They'll be kept from doing bad things. Plus, I've been run after all my life by organized crime, the Sons of Anarchy. Because who would win in a lawless, flawless, in a lawless system in the world? Well, it would be the Sons of Anarchy. It would be the bikers and the mafia that would take control. Because you don't have no more police. You lost your guns, your protection, the police. And then army, well, nobody, I don't know, who runs the army if there's no government? The army runs itself, but it works for who? It protects who? Nothing tells them to do whatever. So it would kind of be a mayhem and this eternal civil war until somebody establishes a barony or seigneur. They say seigneur is a leader. Seigneur is the seigneur is Jesus, is the seigneur in French. And the seigneur is a baron. See, it's a blooder. Sang is the bleed. So it's a bleeder. He bleeds people. So that wouldn't be good. So anarchy, the role it had up to now, because of the right-wing domination and the pyramidal hierarchic system, anarchy was just a mean of protesting. And then it swayed to where it wasn't supposed to go. One thing anarchists do not do is promote violence and riot and destruction. Why destroy things that you could use once anarchy is there? You'll have to rebuild everything. You don't destroy state property, they're going to use it. You don't destroy stuff that you're using. Because when the system changes, you're going to need them. They're not there for nothing. Anarchy doesn't exclude elected representatives because you have a business to run. Somebody has to run all that money. And money, they say abolish money. Well, we can't really abolish money because it would be so fucked up to trade and the value of things. A banana is a lot worth more than in Canada. It's worth more in Canada than it is in Mexico. So how do you decide the value of the banana you want to trade for coffee? But you don't have bananas in Canada. So you have to trade all your tomatoes to get bananas or coffee. But then they grow those, so they don't need them. So they won't want your tomato, they grow them. They don't import them. So you get all this trouble about efficiently trading because we need to trade in life because we cannot grow everything where we're at. We'd have to we'd have to obey our situation and just eat what's around us and what's local. That could be a good thing and abolish trading between countries. But trading is actually cool in some sort of way because it mixes recipes, cultures, and it gets you to experience new things that don't grow where you are. A new art that's not, or a new mineral or something that you don't have in your minds. So you kind of have to trade efficiently with the number of countries in the world and all that. You need some sort of way to trade to calculate the value of things. So money would not necessarily disappear because you'd be in a hell of a trouble trying to get what you want. Then you go to the grocery and everybody showed up with tomatoes that day. So then you see more tomatoes. I don't need any more. So that day you don't eat because you didn't eat tomatoes. And that's all you had. And then you have to wait until someone wants tomatoes because all you have is tomatoes to trade. So it doesn't work. It's not. It wouldn't work. How, the, how do you expect people to sustain themselves just by trading? First of all, some people don't make nothing, don't grow nothing, and don't have anything to trade except their hours and their time. So how do you calculate that time? Well, it's money. What could be interesting it would be to have a global currency for all the countries that's equal value to all. That would be a solution for equality. So no countries would be swindled by richer, more aggressive countries like the G7, G8, or G whatever. That's a swindle. That's a countries allowing themselves to run poor countries because they're dominant and allowing themselves to exploit third world countries and underdeveloped countries. But who would keep those things from existing? Well, you would need some sort of order or a concept or something keeping them from doing that. So you kind of have to put a law in. Then coming to think of it, people all they want is freedom. And if you're a good person, you don't want to do anything wrong because most wrong things are considered evil. So if you're a good person, you don't you're not influenced or affected by those laws because they don't interfere in anything you do. So you're totally free to do what you want according to your wealth, whatever, what you can do with your time. So a good person would be eternally free. Do what you want. Travel, do this, work, don't work, whatever. Do what you want, as long as you're not doing bad things because you're not working, like stealing or dealing or something like that. And even that, uh, imagine if there'd be no laws for drugs and all that. I wonder what it would do. I would be ready to say, well, okay, legalize drugs, but I'd still need to control it, or like no minors. And so you need some sort of minor law, or the drugs won't disappear. In my anarchic system, drug and dealers have their place because anarchy is equality for all. So they're part of all, and they're interested in dealing drugs. So what you do is you take what's good about that and use it. What's good about drugs is they kill people and addict and destroy people's lives. So you can direct evil people towards that. You use the drugs to get rid of evil people. So we found a use for drug that actually helps good people. And And then, whether they're legal or not, they're everywhere. Everybody has this snot in their nose, and the lines everywhere, and it snows all over the world. It's been snowing for years. So even if drugs are illegal, there there's there's coke written in every corner store, all over the place, and sometimes it's laying on the ground everywhere because people don't throw them in the garbage. So you're getting coke publicities just by walking through a corner store. So and it's illegal, but they figured out a way to promote it. And then they have the rock acting, to the crack, what rock and roll, smoke a rock and roll a joint. They do what they want anyways. So may as well just let them do it, but you and tell them to write bad night on articles. Bad. It might be a bit less profitable because you're killing people that are actually helping you to sell. But if you don't make a problem out of drugs and it helps destroy evil, well, good people will help you sell your drugs, directing evil people to drug abuse and all that. And people would be okay with drugs and would protect. They still have to protect their kids from that, even if it's illegal. So why not legalize it and make money for the state off of it? That crime would hate. Or just give them the opportunity to invest legally in drug dealing since they're the masters of that. Just give it to them. But I would say, being an anarchist, that should go to the state, not companies. Um, if drugs would be legalized. But anyways, you still need laws because the fraud things and insurance things and all those couples, everybody would be tearing each other's heads off. And couples would be beating the fuck out of each other because they're allowed to, and they would go crazy. But it wouldn't affect good people because good people don't do bad things. Evil makes good people do bad things like pedophilia and beat their girlfriend to get them beaten and killed in jail. But that's narcissistic manipulation, it's mind control, and it's underground. That's how fascism acts. That's how fascists took over the world. Not so long ago, I felt like I was the last man standing. Every single person I meet would clone into a fascist warrior that was against me and trying to kill me all the time, or give me trouble, being a prick, trying to depress me, talking about ropes all the time, showing me canes everywhere. And then there's these spells you get, these roses that make you notice only canes and dealers and whores. Whatever you look at is deadly. If you trust your autopilot, so they're underground. So I figured, and since nobody ever voted for fascism and it took over the world, fascism is more in our heads. It's an attitude we put into people, and we have program we put into people. They're all programmed to speak about scary, dangerous stuff and accidents when you're acting like a free man and a good night. So why not use that same mind control system with anarchy, but banning the bad night? Get them killing the bad night and killing the assholes and the pricks, the traitors, the hypocrites, the liars. If they're just lying, you don't kill them. You try to transform them. But a lot of people, if you hold their lies, you end up having the bikers wanting to kill you, or him wanting to kill you, just for a simple lie, just because he slept off on his girlfriend. You hear these killing voices. He has the trigger finger at you, and then he's just so you don't learn his lies. All those lies is jealousy, and temptation, the root of evil. But that's narcissistic manipulation, temptation, and need. Not fascism makes you need. It burns you with fire and plays with your need. So it's the stress of fire and the need makes you do stuff you shouldn't do and kill yourself. They're actually trying to kill most people they can. So that's why I believe, that's the only thing I believe in, because you should not believe, because when you believe, you submit yourself to someone else's reality and live that reality, because that's what you believe in. What you do, and when the bee leaves, the bee's not working to protect the hive anymore and to bring honey and produce honey. The bee leaves, and to be is or is not to be. You have to be to you have to be. So I believe in anarchy is a fascist saying that the IB believes in anarchy. No, the IB would rule anarchy. The IB, the thieves, the people with teeth, because cons hate teeth, because the teeth are a portal to strong, honest, good people, true friends, and people that will help you, that can protect you, that can fight back, that can go to the front and assault evil and stuff like that. Forearms, teeth. So you use the teeth against evil persons. And since drug dealing is no longer a problem, well, the dealer is not considered being an evil person. So he's not subject to getting addicted to anything. He's not considered evil. He's helping get rid of evil. How's that like a solution? So I think I make mafia friends and biker friends. So they would be allowed. The way they'd hate me is if I want to get the government to run that. Ideally, in a left-wing system, that's what would happen. The government, liberals legalize marijuana, but it's all this is his friends that have businesses and that finance the political parties. I got oh no, it opened SQDC. It went government. Yeah, it didn't go government. Colorado had all these private investors and weed all over in McDonald's smoking sections and all that. That is a way to enrich people that try to get power and control and enslave people. So it would have to be government seized the drugs. Uh, Plus those psychosis and all that. It's not the drugs that cause those. Well, maybe the speed of it because of mental fatigue and all that. But it's more the narcissistic occupation and manipulation that narcissists do by intimidation and driving people crazy. All mental illnesses are results of narcissists occupying people's mind. Someone like me, I'm a Skywalker. I'm a chosen one. I'm one actually. So I'm always a chosen leader since my birthday, July 2019. Otherwise, I was a scapegoat in the one they hang and crucify. When I was fascist, they exclude me, they take pictures and scapegoat me, and I end up the head like that, going like that, all alone with my killer of smoke. And this guy pressing on my button, making me smoke and happy to control me, to make me smoke. Another fascist. So anarchy would be mental. I think that's where it belongs. Because anarchy would never become a system. Because yeah, everybody would kill each other. And plus, they're all on this fascist program, and they already kill each other in that silly game of paying to breathe. And the fascists will take all your money away, and then once you're broke and you're on ground zero, then they'll start giving you $2 every once in a while. But in order for you to suck their dick, to lick their ass, and otherwise they want to enslave you or to dominate you by keeping you from breathing. Now they have the corset. We don't. The good don't have the corset no more. But whenever I'd end up with rats and blue people, I'd drop my breath, and the fridge fans would drop my breath, and I'd end up on ground zero, and then they'd put smokes in the coffee in my next needs I'm gonna want. When somebody talks, I'm gonna see the smokes or something bad. because it was done on ground zero. That's where you program your needs. Fascists play with your needs. When a fascist talks, pay attention, it's white dust that flashes. They're trying to get everybody hooked on speed because speed drives people's nuts. But the thing is, it's that narcissist, it's by getting in contact with the dealer. Every time you buy something with the dealer kisses you and puts a program inside you that'll do a sequence that you'll be tagging unconsciously objects that are some of their friends, and the objects will direct you all the time, direct and to tell you peripheral. There's voices telling you peripheral vision to look for white powder, to look for cigarettes, to look for a lighter, to look for credit cards, to look for money. So if either one, especially white powder, so as soon as white powder crosses your peripheral vision, it tells you to go look at it. So you're always having a glimpse of white powder all the time. If there's a little dust on your table or crumbs on the carpet, you're always seeing them. That's what fascists do. But that they could still keep on doing, but to evil people. But if drugs were privatized, were government controlled, then you don't get the kiss from for the downward spiral with the 9-inch nails and those sequences that keep you hooked. I got a rose yesterday. These three girls came in. I was cleaning the hell out of the tubes and the curtains that are wrapped all inside of me with love in them, and little rats from the sand crumbs that are horny. Well, they made everything I look at associated to a need and this feeling of when you need a smoke. Everything I look at says have a smoke, have a smoke, have a smoke all the time. That's the fascist rose. We call it roses. Those are curses. I got the curse of the Christ. I sabotage, destroy myself. I don't take care of my appearance. I don't feel like getting washed anywhere, taking a shower ever. Every time I have a responsibility, it's telling me I don't feel like it. I'm always doing it and resisting the temptation to get lazy. I'm lazy. I'm a loner. I don't make friends. I lose all my friends. I can't pick up women because it tells them not to pick me up. It tells fat women to drag me. I only get fat women that like me on Badoo and Tinder. I have this curse that blocks everything that could be working well for me, makes it work it wrong. It got everything I love to do, drawing, playing music, painting, everything I was creative, they made me not want to do that anymore and not feel good while I'm doing that. I had to stop doing everything I love. Every time I'd enjoy doing something, after 2 weeks, they managed to get that to be boring or to have this thing in my head saying, I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it, this is boring, this is... So you're being told that all over. So you don't ever feel like doing anything fun. You don't even feel like going out. So fascism uses magic and roses. So anarchy, now that we got the left arm on block, and the left arm can manipulate fire and meat and everything the right arm does. Arms are weapons. The right arm used to be magical and not the left. So everybody on the left went right towards the king that doesn't care about them, that uses them as pawns and even kills them, his followers. And then when there's two fascists together, one of the two is trying to kill the other one, for sure, even if they're friends. Because that's their functioning life. To befriend someone, to gain his trust, and then to attack him with bad habits and deadly stuff. I had two kids I tattooed the other day. I was just talking about it, and this guy wanted to kill me. But when said that, the guy flashed, the best of the two flashed, and it kind of said he's the one that the guy's trying to kill. So the guy understood when he saw himself flash and what was said, he understood that his best friend was actually trying to kill him and giving him bad habits, vaping, smoking, whatever, drugs. So this killing streak is all fascist, and it's all about overpopulation. But with all the money we spend at war and healing ourselves from narcissistic disease and illnesses, because in French, an illness is malady. It's evil that said. When the evil said evil, it creates an evil entity, a disease. Because words are mantras. Words have an effect. When you combine different letters and words and sounds, they'll have a magical effect. Some you'll feel, some you don't. Some just happen and make you behave a different way, but you don't notice. It's a new program. You didn't program. It's your reality. You don't complain. Just like when you're being dictated by the guy on the pyramid, you end up accepting your servitude, your slave, uh, your slave level, because it's been dictated with love. They said it on the love, so that made you love what they said. And so they're telling you that you're okay, that it's that, so you actually accept being a slave at minimum wage, working and working and working, and not even able to spend $200 on something you'd like because you're always paying rent instead. So that's what the dictator does with capitalism. It's making you love your slavery. So why not make people love freedom with anarchy? Uh, the new system. I got YouTube. The tubes are all messed up in my head. Uh, shit, somebody was at the door. I forgot what I was saying. YouTubers. So yeah, why not make people the new system at the Louvre in Paris, the Museum of the Louvre? They had a pyramid, an outdoor pyramid on top, and you go underneath into the Louvre. But now what they have is a small pyramid with a big pyramid on top, and they're point to point. And on the opening of the big pyramid, it goes into a hole that you see the sky and the stars. So what that represents is that the fascist hierarchic pyramid got dropped down below. They're underneath the vagina or the fuck button. They thought the city was a horny bitch up there. They can't go higher. They're stuck down. They can't influence us anymore because we dropped it down and we didn't believe in hierarchy. Because every human being should have equal rights, except if they're evil. Evil do not have rights. Evil destroy and kill and manipulate and swindle and create needs that you don't need, material, drugs, whatever, habits. So they're down below. So when they speak, it just affects their people. They have a hierarchy in their system, in their reality, and they boss each other, dominate each other, and this and that, and do whatever the fuck they want in their fascist, right wing, egoistic, evil system. But the ones on top influence the ones below. So the good, evil ones, the ones that do wrong the right way, are on top, and program the ones below that are more evil and traitors and hypocrites. When they talk, they dictate that. But the one that dictates actually is the one, me. Because I'm in the middle. The, see, Ralph Smart in Infinite Waters on YouTube says you got to learn how to understand, like being under the open pyramid with people on the wide top. The people with best values and habits and non-dependent are on top because if they're non-dependent, they probably have better habits than a dependent one because they didn't do what makes them dependent. They listen to truth, virtue, and warnings. So the ones that have the best mentality and values are on top and influence the ones below. We are in some sort of anarchic system. It's starting to grow. We just shift the pyramid down this July at my birthday, I think. Because I saw everything change after I had my pink souls kissing the earth and everybody would turn pink and I'd be flashing alone in the crowd. And then they even went down and voted. It went white, black, white. And I think they accepted me as a Christ or something. So I'd be in the middle getting influenced by the people's will. That is anarchy. The upside down pyramid is anarchy. And anarchy rules over fascism. Because fascism is evil and ego related. So people that don't rule and use and obey to their ego get the power. If you want power, destroy your ego and be truthful, virtuous, and righteous and just. That's how you'll get power. Because whoever has money is down in the 1% small pyramid. Because they're assholes. Money corrupts them. They want more. They start playing this world domination game. They invest in war. They invest in viruses. Like the corona. I just saw a brevet for that illness. Somebody breveted that 2 years ago. They're just waiting for the proper opportunity. And now they call it the corona disease because the crown has been stolen. I have the crown. Everybody has the crown now. Everybody can put the crown on their head in anarchy. Everybody in the top pyramid could decide to come down on the floor because it's king on the floor. The king is at the people's level. So anyone can just giraffe and stick their head out and talk to all and be a king or a pope. And if what they say is truthful and well said, then love will make it happen. The universe will make it happen because it's been printed in love. If whatever is not true doesn't make it to the love because it's a universal consciousness. And all this creates a dome, a protective space within the universe, like all politics and religions. I've been dropped down. I had to dig my own energy from the garbage, having no light at all, and just sifting through a straw, a little bit of a clear, cold energy prana every morning for hours before I get to breathe normally. I work my own space. And then since evil were blasting me and good were blasting me on the love, I became black and white. I'm half and half. I'm the devil and I'm Jesus. They made me become the devil. And they occupied hell. Hell is a bunch of metalheads. Hell is not eternal torment no more. Hell is fun. Hell is a whole bunch of cool metalheads. That's how you order stuff, or that's how you organize stuff. I mean, in anarchy, is through mind control, love, and values. When it says right here, well, that's where you write with love. You take your pen out and you say the truth. You are just when you're right here. Just is right here. Right here, when you say right here, your stomach, it's like there's a state at the bottom of your stomach, and that your stomach prints what you say on the magical tape. I have that inside my body. That exists. That's really hard to believe. But you're living a reality, a Christian reality, that's been lying to you. And even indoctrinating specialists into maintaining their system and lie and their cage. They blocked people from eternal life. And then it's the gift they give if you've been nice. But they put the cross in front and make you wear it. Your hero, your dead hero, your true leader that would take care of you, the true king, Jesus, they make you wear him dead on your neck. What kind of religion is that? And the first thing they show our aboriginals and Indians is a dead body on a stick. They used to have the sun and the moon. They could see their gods. They could feel their gods. It was animal spirits. It was polytheist energies. Whatever group of celestial entities living a human or animal life, physical life, that gather and share common thoughts and will create a collective mind space in the leader's mind, in Jesus' mind. That's why I can change everybody's life just by talking, or by being a tall king, by sticking my head out of the floor, rising on top, and inspiring. In anarchy, we inspire. We don't command or dictate. Those are condescending. It's a pain in the ass. It's frustrating to get an order and not being explained what you have to do. That's not respecting someone's freedom to give an order, and even worse, to dictate. Dictate, you're obliging them to accept this reality, and you're printing it directly in their mind to make sure they accept that, like manufacturing consent of Noam Chomsky. So that's why I think that anarchy is a social structure and a mind space that's in the leader's mind, that under a dome, that's and the pyramid upside down is open to the sky. The crown, they opened the crown chakra and all the chakras. They took the wall away that with that thick pasta that blocks you from getting the energy from the universe, the chi and the energy in the air everywhere. And by not having that, it gets you needy. And then fascists had you not touching love, pretending you were harassing women or something, or kids, or associating the love to sex and to abuse. But that was just not to get their roses and bad spells that control and this dynamic of economical domination and commerce and fascism. So what we do in anarchy is we inspire by loving. We love. We print words on the love. And then whoever love is like a phone connection. Whoever's evil is plugged on the love. What it is a love feeling inside of you. It's this little cat. Look at cats. They come and they go down your path and they grab a rat and then they love it away and they play around with it and they take your rat away. So the one that's tempting you is this one. This feeling right there. And then they'll burn you and make you and tempt you. So that makes you consume and do drugs and buy material you don't need. And then they put that want. Want is this one. What you want. They'll repeat a word and screw your want, but so you're gonna want to go shop. You're gonna want and spend. You want to go. You're gonna want to go to the forum. You're gonna want to go to get programmed at the church by the that dictates the priest. If the Catholic Church wouldn't put intimidation in front, it would be okay. And if they open the sky, not making us believe that we're not eternal, we are eternal, or even immortal, if we want. If we could get this spike out of our hearts, we could. I believe we could live like elves, and that's why elves live a long time. And he spoke of that because he might have been aware of people living an extra long time. They even think that Nicolas Flamel, the alchemist that managed to turn lead into gold, he lived in an extremely rich house and opened houses for the poor, but they say that he would still be alive. There's a rumor. And since everything is light, vibration, and magnetism, and frequencies, well, you can adjust those frequencies to keep you from getting old and dying. See those people that they're 40, 50, and they still speak like a kid? Those are people that didn't want to grow up. I want to grow up, the Ramones. And while they look younger than most people, they didn't age as much, and they kept their mentality and attitude of a young kid. They made that being a defect and something wrong. What's wrong about living longer and looking young all your life and living like a young person? You can be young looking and acting and be responsible and raise kids. You'll be even more fun for the kids. What's wrong with being a garçon, a boy? Boys are fun. Boys have fun. What's wrong with boys? Some women should want boys more than an adult. Adults are boring. Have all these responsibilities. Another worm twisting in my mind. I gotta go. Sorry. So what was I saying? So yeah, so where anarchy is actually is in the mind space. It's it's anarchy for me an image because you have chaos and anarchy that's been dirtied by media and news and CNN and Fox and all that. They fox your head up a lot with lies, real lies. You need real lies to realize the real lies. And those real lies create a structure in which we're prisoner and enslaved and kept away from universal energy, free beer, free beer, free beer, free beer, 2,000, 2 million, 20 million, take it, take it, take it. I got an ET hole here that's permanently full. My cup is always full. My wake up, the way, when you hear the waves, a breath up here in the front, the whole wave, a whole breath up to the belly button. The one way is a good way. Your way is probably a little small, little, because people don't really have their own way because they've been kept inside it all their life and at his house to live in, my house. So people don't have that way like I do. I'm the one that got away. I have this huge fountain of beer. Every breath I take is prana, and I can give some away like I want. And when I speak, I think that gives it away. I'm not like a fascist that takes all your money, and then you're trying to crawl up now, and you know more money, and then they go all $2 and $3 and $10 and blah blah. And then when you're really nice and lick their ass, they go 2,000 and then 20,000, and then they give you money. And once you obey, that's narcissistic manipulation. And narcissists can play with your mind, and by playing with the mind, you create magic. Because in alchemy, mercury, sulfur, and salt are the three elements that represent spirit, soul, and the mind. And they are at the root of all creation, especially the mind. Because the Egyptian god that noticed that with the emerald tablets, that was named Thoth. So thoughts are at the basis of existence, because otherwise we're light beings from the universe. In other dimensions, we're probably fractals swinging in the sky, and those red clouds in space might be a whole bunch of souls just gathered together in a galaxy or around galaxies. And then you get people speaking like your dead friend beside you all the time with the same way of speech. Well, that's because their dead friend is occupying them, even if he's dead, because he's eternal. So, so anarchy is in your mind. Anarchy will take the chaos from the universe, because chaos is not to break everything. And anarchy is not civil war and the chaos of disorganized civil war situation. That is not anarchy. Rioting is not anarchy. Riots are the best way to lose a political debate and a revolution effort. Because when you start destroying and physically confronting the law, well, the law has to protect society and the system. So, and the system is run by fascists, so that's why the pigs end up being ACAB. All cops are bastards. They're bastardized by fascists. They have the wrong hat on. It's not their fault. And they plus the paycheck they're enslaved some sort of way. They have to obey to fascist orders and laws. So in an anarchy, all the fascist laws would disappear, and only good laws, useful laws would appear. No laws to help corporations cut all the trees and put pipelines through. Those laws would never be voted by the people, because the people will be well informed because of the inverted pyramid. Truth is being printed into them. Knowledge is being set down to them. And the truth, people don't get the truth nowadays. They get lies and a manipulation to manufacture consent and to get people to accept that God wants war. And someone on the top of that bottom pyramid is considered like being God. That's where Bush was. He really was God, because when they're on the top, They're all living what you think. They're living in your reality, and they're subject to what you say and the way you rule. And they will get the values you decide to give them. And they will approve or disapprove what you decide to approve or disapprove. And end up accepting or refusing stuff, acting, rejecting, and accepting people. So the whole game just has to switch around, put the pyramid upside down. It is already. Now it's just a question of time. A revolution always turns. You don't declare a revolution, break everything. That is not a revolution. You don't destroy the whole fucking place and with Molotov calling it a revolution. That is not a revolution. That is anarcho-fascists taking the control of a manifestation in order to get it to stop by provoking destruction that will end into a police confrontation that are organized and padded, protected, and weaponized, and even have water tanks. They're equipped to deal with that. And if the police can't deal with that, then you get martial law and you get to speak with M16s and tanks. And the tanks, you're getting down the main street like Russians doing it in China, or the Chinese did, whatever. The tanks in the sea that hold people down. So that's why you don't riot. You don't confront violently authority, and you don't vandalize public property. You vandalize corporate property and multinational property. That's what you vandalize. You vandalize whoever privatizes and steals all your services. Uh, so anarchy is power to the people. The people on top, but there still is a leader. It's just that when it's an anarchy, the people follow and love the leader because it's taking care of them and giving them love and a Christmas tree to lean on and to be comfy. All you need is love. And by playing that don't touch love game, they're creating needy people because they don't get the love they need. So by not giving love or energy away, you're closing all the doors. All that's left is substance to calm needs and drugs and medication and food and stuff like that. So you're going to consume something because you don't have love or energy. So by giving love away on the post, that's why they have pole dancers. It's because they parasite the post where you connect the love. And they put traps and the evil commands on there that make people screw up. And that's those tubes, the pole inside of you. So by giving free access to love, people are all happy and have this comfort all of a sudden. By giving love to couples, people really love each other and don't separate. Like fascists make good couples separate and good families to move away from each other. Good nights to split out and separate and not hang out together. They eliminate good and good interaction. So in anarchy, you do the same thing, but eliminating the bad night, the bad apostles, and the bad influence with Harley Quinn and the Joker. You put them to work on evil people. They're not considered evil because they're just drug dealers, and they're allowed to kill evil people. So they don't get in trouble killing evil people that don't want to change and do evil on purpose. You kill those. No time to lose. They ruin the system. They ruin anarchy. They ruin the power to the people. They dominate. They don't respect. They're condescending. Their tongue is blue. It's depressive mantras and illnesses and stuff like that and viruses that they create by speaking blue. It's the man, evil that said. So when you say evil, you create something evil, a virus, and all that comes from somewhere, and it's all light. So somebody has to create it. It's us that brutalizes things. Viruses are man-made. Illnesses are man-made. Or animals that wish upon some sort of cancer to start killing those psychopaths that mass murder cattle and pigs and stuff like that to eat when they could be vegan and respect life. It's maybe animals taking mind control. why grindcore imitates pigs and flies and parrots and stuff like that with their voice. It's to ring those animals' bells so they fuck off and they go open. Once they're open, they leave the roof. They leave the mental occupation. Just press on the love and flock. You see everybody lock into place and fall onto this program because they're all betas. They obey. They obey the brave. And since we're brave, well, there are sons of anarchy. There are kids. That's why they call themselves kids. It's because the father at the top of the pyramid had kids below. And he was getting them all to be traitors, hypocrites, liars, and evil people, killing each other and trying to dominate each other. And then just showing that to be dominated makes you a loser and all that. In anarchy, authority in the couple doesn't exist like Trump and his wife. That Trump moves his wife around where he wants, and she has to kind of let herself go and obey. Then she does this weird face when he turns around in his back, and he knows because those couples always play in each other's backs because they're brought up to fuck around and stuff too because they don't want functional couples. They want a working guy that's working his ass off making the family live off his paychecks, and they want a whore selling her body to privatize sex because she's broke and has all the kids. So she's gonna sell her body. Then you have putra. Putra is a rat whore. Putra. Put is whore. Ra is rat. Putra. There's tons of putras on Facebook. They're really good looking deluxe chicks. They're all prostitutes, and they're right open in midair and they're broad daylight on Facebook. People like me get invitations of like that because they know I don't get sex because I'm a good night, and I'm lonely because I'm a good night. Nobody speaks to me because I'm a good night. I need company because I'm a good night. Well, the music, since I'm a marginal, I don't need all those things that makes me feel like I'm inferior because I don't give a fuck about measuring myself, comparing myself to another person and looking better than someone. I don't care about that. That's not how I valorize myself. Anarchy made me valorize my true values and my inner self and who I really am, and to judge people by who they really are inside. I look at the eyes when I see a selfie. I don't look at the tits and the ass. I want to see if that person's alive. I want to see what kind of person she is, if she deserves to be loved or hated or killed or resurrected. you know, so I want to see life. I want to see expression. I want to see eyes that tell a story. I don't want to see just a pretty body. Everybody has, a lot of the girls have a pretty body, and most really, really, really pretty bodies, they fuck around and dominate you, and they're just there for the money and traveling and comfort. They don't even love you because they're sharing love with the other guy, not with you, their boyfriend. Because fascists does that. Women will feel love with the intruder, and the guy won't feel nothing. So after sharing that love with every guy she crossed at Salon for 10 years, well, year number 4, 7, and 8, she fucked around because she got the opportunity. And by feeling love all the time, you end up wanting it to do it. That's how they make pedophiles. They link their sexual chakra to kids' voices, and then they add commands that tells them you want to. Why don't you fuck her? And then the kids even get balls that make them say these double meaning words like come and stuff, and you want to come, blah 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 blah. Then you want to come in for a while, and then everybody leaves and get the opportunity, and then you try yourself on kids. Well, that's going to be a fascist disease now, and they're going to bang fascist kids that are really too evil at the source. And the René rat, Re is rat, and Ne is the born. It's a born rat. It's a blue one that from the origin from the sperm. So he's fundamentally his DNA is blue. He'll always be. So that kid, you fucking rape him, destroy his life. He's gonna destroy tons of people's life. That's a little dangerous fascist prick. So pedophiles are gonna be fascists, and they're gonna fucking screw and rape fascist kids, and then they're gonna go get beaten, killed in jail like a pedophile. That's why whoever hunts a pedophile down attacks pedophiles like crazy is a fucking fascist. Because that's how they punish the good knight. A pedophile, most of the time, is a good knight, a good man with good values and honest and all that, that managed to make lots of money. So in order not for him to take control of anything, because he's successful, they'll turn him into a pedophile. So he gets rejected, destroyed, and in jail and beat. It's a good night illness. They're victims, pedophiles. So in an anarchist state, the chakras would be working properly and the love would be linked to proper persons. No more 50-year-old guys loving 14-year-old girls or stuck with love between them. You'll take that off and link them to women. They'll be interested in women if you put the sexual chakra that way. Where you put the chakra is where what you're gonna want. When you hear a voice, what your brain is gonna associate to love. So with the power of love, anarchy would maintain order in chaos, around chaos. Letting chaos be. Chaos, you put chaos in your mind, it's just this randomized interaction that follows no law, no logical structure or sequence. It's whatever. So it might be based on interest, magnetism, frequencies. But stars, they grow all over. There's no logic in their structure of star disposition. That's chaos. It's everywhere. We're living inside a chaotic universe. A forest. Did you ever see a forest grow in a row? No. Trees grow all over, and wherever the seed falls, it grows, and that's totally random. And a forest is chaotic. Uh, the animals all act chaotically. They don't walk in ranks like soldiers. Uh, People behave chaotically. Nobody behaves the same way. Well, unless they're under control, mind control. But they kind of keep their identity. Being all different is kind of a chaotic difference thing. And P, the number at the basis of the most perfect form and shape, the circle or the sphere, is based on a chaotic number that never ends and just goes out randomly with no logical structure. It's just P. It's fucked up like that. You can't really predict. Well, you can calculate what numbers are going to come out, but there's no real law deciding. There's no logical sequence that repeats ever. It's always a new number, and no relation or distance that equals, and nothing relates to orders. It's all chaos. But that makes a perfect circle. So that's why I say chaos is the area, and order is the circumference that just keeps chaos from spreading and getting out of control. But even the universe is not even confined, because order is a human concept. Because chaos is nature. Chaos is life. Everything's chaos. I mean, blood cells are chaotic. Your organs are not even symmetrical. Your hair grows wherever. It's all chaotic. So don't fear chaos. Fear what they made of chaos with destruction. That chaos is not destruction. Chaos is not riots. There's some sort of chaos. It's a political chaos or a social chaos during civil war and riots. Riots is some sort of social chaotic attitude because nobody follows any orders no more and just do whatever they want individually or according to what police do. So it's just reacting to one another. So it's kind of since you can't predict actions that much, it's kind of a chaotic thing, but it's not necessarily bad, the chaos. Chaos is at the basis of life. So with P, anarchy would just get chaos to look perfect with mind control and inspiration. And if people are under a good hat, If they have a Nazi Darth Vader hat, well, they're all gonna want to kill other races and want to do it, and they're all gonna want to dominate and be stronger and better and winner and all that. Like fascists, they need to be winners. They need to be dominated. Otherwise, they're not satisfied. It's a mental illness. It's narcissism. It's a love of self and too much importance to ego and what you look like and what you represent exteriorly with your material and what you look like. That doesn't judge who you are. That doesn't warn anybody that you're an hypocrite or a traitor. Most fascists and hypocrites and traitors and Cains that killed his brother are really good looking, really nice, and like spotless. They have nothing bad on their Facebook and not a bad comment on themselves because they are always immaculate. What they do evil is underneath, but they're always really, really nice and present giving. They give away poison presents that are going to drag you to powder. When you look at it, it will bump you to powder. The presents they give you are poison, are possessed, are keepsakes. They keeps ache. Uh, so I lost the so anarchy is creating something. It's creating something with chaos. It's ordering chaos, but it's leaving it be because there's no direct obligation at nowhere. There's laws protecting it, but you can still do it. So it's making something perfect out of something chaotic, like a circle. Uh, and then it's power to the people. So people have mental control on their leaders. That's why the king or the one is below the top pyramid and king on the floor, because he is getting the knowledge by understanding. A real person overstands sometimes, understands, and understands. When understanding, you're being dominated if he's a prick because he's showing you in a mean way that he can control you and order you. But actually, or you're being influenced by a symbiotic relation, where in a symbiotic relation, there's no couple authority and who's wearing the pants thing and who's the boss kind of thing between the other. That's a fascist concept. It's that makes somebody feel uncomfortable or inferior, create conflict, make him want to win. So they start fighting on the first position and split up. Trump is just showing a vulgar display of power over his wife, showing that he's the boss. That's how they valorize themselves. Look, I'm hot, I'm the boss. What the fuck's that? Your wife? And now even gangsters have their girlfriends getting prostituted to make more money. What the fuck's that? Your wife's screwing for money? She doesn't even want to fuck you when she comes back. you know, so that authority in a couple disappears in anarchy, and it's a symbiotic. They complete. Authority is a parasite overpowering and overstanding on the dominated one. But he's overstanding when he shouldn't, even if he shouldn't. That means he has worse habits and transferring them to the person below that he influences. That's why you should never have a vulgar display of power, because the person that maintains his power maintains it even when he should let go and let the leader lead, or the most confident, or the better habit control. In a functional couple or friendship, they will share the first place. Whoever's most used to doing what they're going to do, or knows more about it, or has the best values, best habits, whatever, all those things balance, all the good criteria, the person with the best score will become the leader and dominate the others. But what in a same couple or friendship, it's not domination, it's inspiring and loving one another. With the love, the habits transform like two spheres going into one another, and the white and the black one going gray, and then sifting out, and they end up to one extreme again. So in a symbiotic relationship, they complement each other and help each other out. That would be the basis of anarchy. Symbiotic relations to evolve. Evolution is anarchy. So anarchy is mind control by the power over the leader. And the leader overpowering fascism and evilness. That is anarchy. It's a social structure that's within the mind space. That's what that's where there's no laws. Because in the mind space, you can say what you want and never get blamed to it in someone's head telepathically, like narcissists do. Telepathy exists. And that's how they command you, because when they overpower you, they're on the antenna in the cockpit, and they can leave the yellow nose with orders, making you behave and avoid this and that, and touch that, don't touch that. So it keeps you from working on his lies and his control mechanisms, because love melts down roses and bad habits. So by keeping you from touching love, and then plus the authority couple never love each other. Because whenever they touch love, they go away because they're not supposed to touch love. That's the basis of fascism. Don't touch love and get people needy. And keep them there with intimidation. So in an anarchist state, there's no intimidation, really, or bullying. There's just a mistreatment and playing with the habits of evil people and giving them shit, giving them what they deserve, and confronting them to themselves in a karma sort of way. You will get what you planted. You plant an evil seed, people will be evil to you. You're evil, you will be confronted to evil. You're a traitor, you will be confronted to traitors. You will be screwed around, you'll be manipulated. And you'll always be protecting and hiding and never safe in a fascist state because everybody tries to overpower everybody. There's a social insecurity that emerges in a fascist state because of intimidation and the bat and the violence and death and all that. And the crucifix. So in an anarchist state, people, by dictating evil, make evil obey and act in a good way. But since they're evil, they still tend to seize every opportunity to swindle and get the advantage and try to dominate and look better. But they're not acting evil. So it's a little bit better. And eventually, I figure that the love will dissipate by transforming one by one by one by one and then showing them love and how good they would feel in an anarchist state. They all open their eyes and realize the truth and the real way things should work and what they've been kept away from with fascism and how they got kept needy. And they realize that anarchy actually helps. So they want to participate, and then you get all these songs and artists saying they love you and that you're so kind to them and all that. And when you're a loved leader, what's better than that? People that decide to follow you by will, by their own will, and give love in return and respect. That's how you become better and best, by gaining respect the natural way, an honest way. That is a true monument. That is a true example. Gives me shivers. Shiver. Ooh, shiver. Uh, shaver. No, I won't shave. I like the hair. I'm a hairy bitch. Johnny, they call me. Yeah, John kills you when he was evil. Because John's the country. You don't fuck with John or Jesus. Because they're the killers now. And they're feared now. And their bitches are even feared worse. Feared and respected. Then only feared by evil. Evil lives fear. and insecurity and domination in an anarchist state. So anarchy doesn't exclude evil, it just dictates it, commands it, and is above, it rises above, and fucks down. It doesn't try to screw up by lifting the rib cage. So anarchy gives total freedom to good people, because if you don't do anything bad, nothing keeps you from doing whatever you want to do, because it's not bad. So the way to be free is to be righteous, virtuous, reasonable, wise, intelligent, and respectful, and have good values and a good attitude. That's how you gain eternity, eternal life, and freedom. And then anarchists will not show death in front to get respected. That's a fascist technique. Anarchists will show love. The good Jedi has love on her saber. Look at that image where they're fighting on this cliff with a wizard on top that has yellow eyes now. The wizard's been fucked. The evil monster has been fucked. It's good inside now. It's seeing yellow. When he speaks like we speak. You cannot impregnate evil anymore, or doesn't do it as well because it has an evil, a good influence now. That is anarchy, to occupy the mind. When they say occupy Wall Street, they need to psychically overpower and overstand commerce, capitalism, and fascism. Overstand that. So what the king or one or everybody on the floor does is they overstand on fascism. They understand each other when friendship, they each become one another and share one another and make one another evolve in a symbiotic way by understanding and cleaning up, placing the energy, go and do, I'm going to go and fix your hair and on pour all those breakers that make you do evil stuff that put you in trouble. Then you're going to dig through your head and then crunch all those crunchers. So it's to occupy leadership. That is anarchy. And then the leader understands the people. So the people program the leader to act representing their collective soul and will. The leader, since he's getting love, he doesn't mind to do that. He's not doing evil. He's not obliged. He feels like doing it because he's been taught to love to do that. So if he does it, he's going to appreciate it because he's going to be loved. What we need is love. So you don't have a dictator. The only evil gets the dictator, and that overstands them. And that's how it should work, because you dissolve evil. And I think that in an anarchist, the only thing with the X is it's shaped like an hourglass. We still have time restriction in our reality. Time is a human concept. If we would have written a different story, maybe we'd have floating islands if it would be written in the Bible. And if the Bible would share true values, but Christians killed the Christ. I know it's a Roman king, but that king was spreading Christianity all over pagan land. And all the pagans had true realized and felt the spirits and the chakras and the gods and had gods and religion. And that all got destroyed. They were magical. And that's why they destroyed all the Middle Ages, scripture and all that. It was to destroy magic and the power that we have to manipulate reality. So maybe if we'd write a story about a place where the time doesn't exist and get most of humanity to believe in that, and with floating islands, maybe rocks would start to float. Because in the desert, there's a place where rocks crawl in the desert and leave a trace, and nobody knows steps showing somebody that moved them. They just went forward. If stones could do that on the ground, why couldn't they float? Because they're light. Everything is light. You break the electron, neutron, and proton, it gives light. And then with vibration, magnetism, and frequencies, you transform the light into matter with mantras, and thought, because thought is our reality. And then God is, because in anarchy we don't, God exists because people think and believe about it. So it creates God. So in anarchy, anarchists should believe that man created God by combining spirits, combining soul and spirits. So all that combination that makes the average of that makes a godly mind. God will be appear and not be dictated upon, like Benedict. Benedict, the Pope, the Nazi Pope. Well, Bene is from Beni, from Latin, and Dict is from dictate. Beni is blessed, so it's the blessed dictator. Christianity is hierarchy related, and domination related, and control related, and commandment related, and all that. And it's uh, making. I got made into a saint. When you say saint, I flash because I was a hero. I fought the Balrog. I got rid of the Balrog. I overpowered it. I won the race. The Twisted Sisters race in my head by twisting over it and kissing it down. I made it to number one by beating the Balrog, by destroying his worst killer rose that would connect you to evil and death. Death would crawl on you. I got a fish that died because I was getting the fish to eat up the evil energy balls. They'd swallow it, and two of them died. It really was death. It was a black rose. It was the death kiss. And this thing, it was bearings up your spine. And then you had to dance and rub them together and on music. They melt down. But once you get to the neck, this thing would trigger a spasm and you'd pop a whole bunch of new bubbles up that would all link and become a worm. And you'd have to start all over all the time. Everything would make it restart. Yeah, there was a backup for everything you think about. There was something triggering a restart just once you're done. And you'd have to start all over again. Music, Epica's music got rid of that kiss because I even thought that I'd have to hang myself because I couldn't live normally and look normally and act normally with that in my mind. So those kisses are for evil killers. We can kiss them now. We give flowers for that. They give roses. Roses are evil reflex and evil combinations and sequences of evil entities that keep you dependent. That's a rose. And so because we rose, they give us roses. Uh, so I think I pretty much made it around what I think anarchy is. It's a mental occupation of power, and it's power to the people, basically, and it's in our minds. It doesn't really uh, it doesn't really change the way the system looks like as it is now. It just removes evil laws and corporate laws, and it punishes evil instead of good, like Christians do. The only problem with Christians is they have a cross in front, intimidation in front. That's what makes people respect them, the fear of death and hell, and that ceilings close. You don't have connection to the universe. They're making you believe you're confined in this dome of the Christianity that has no opening. Somebody's channeling knowledge, the Pope, I guess, from the universe, but they don't believe we come from the universe. They believe we come from God. So it's just human level entities that make their God. There's probably greater gods. Even the Titans is stuff greater than that. And if they spoke about Titans, well, the Titans exist. If we'd still be believing in Greek mythology, maybe we'd have people able to petrify people like Medusa, if we truly would believe in it. Because everything is light and you can transform everything. So to petrify somebody by looking at them, no, it's kind of odd, but life is manipulated. life can be manipulated, and we're creators, so maybe we could petrify it. Maybe that existed in us. Or maybe it was an exterior entity with greater powers that made it to Earth and embodied Medusa. Something made them talk about that. Where did they get that idea? Maybe that back then, maybe they were living a total different reality. And Atlantis, they supposedly were more advanced than us in certain things. Probably it's because their Bible was talking about more intelligent stuff and more powerful and magical stuff. So they became their reality. We're living the Trinity. Trinity makes two get more affinity and leave one out most of the time. So that one will develop jealousy because of ego, and that will be the root of all evil. So we have to put 4 or 5 at the basis. With 5, you get 4 corners in the top. Structure, social structure, for the first and 2, 3, 4, 5, that act like a channeler in a pyramid shape that never excludes 1. The worst that can happen is 2 end up on their side losing, and 3 do what they want. But 2 are not left alone because there are at least 2 thinking the same way. So they could probably create their own space and create their own reality or join in. With 4, you never leave no one. You can't. There's a possibility that one gets excluded. So I think that 5 would actually be the magical number. So there'd be spirit, soul, the mind, essence, and body. You get 5. According to me, I'd rewrite Alchemia on a basis of 5 or 4. But 4, there's a possibility to get an evil, angry, non-satisfied person that's left alone. That's the leader. The true Jesus is always left alone in a fascist state. If things are written properly, the one who's left alone would be the evil one. So 4 kind of excludes sometimes one person. That's why I think, and plus there's a possibility that the vote goes equal. That way you have to do both. You can't do one or the other, it's equal. So they voted equal, they get both. But in pride, you can't get equality. There's it's either 2 or 3. You can't split the middle in half. So that way you don't have any problems when you vote, but you still have displeased people that didn't get what they want. So those 2, it's important not to exclude them, but they're 2 to fight back, and they're coupled, so they're not left alone. And loneliness won't do its bad word. Bad word. So I think that Alchemia should be rewritten, that Trinity is the root of all evil. And it's Christian. That's why we're living all these trios that team up, and teams like that team of 3 girls that came and kissed me the other day is because of the Bible and the Trinity. Get rid of that and believe that that 5 basic elements create reality instead of 3. And there you go. You have a new reality, new structure of society, and no one left alone. But that's a faraway theory. So I wish for floating islands, and you can even get wishes to come true if they're non-ego related and not too gargantuous. So I wish you all to live a beautiful, pleasant, mindful anarchy in your mind and your head, and to live eternal freedom by being free and virtuous and just in this chaos that we live in, and that's maintained from destruction by order, a human concept. Fear is used to control evil, not good people. So I guess you get the picture. Upside down pyramid, normal pyramid, king in the middle, There you go. So that's my vision of anarchy. So I wish you all to live anarchy and freedom.